So what's going on with the stock market? What's going on, team? It's Ricky with Technical Solutions, and you guys cannot be surprised with the market pulling back just a little bit. And if anything, /NQ and even /ES, which this /ES is the S&P 500. This one is down on the day. /NQ is the NASDAQ futures, and it's still a little bit in the green. One of the things that we've been saying, even with our Sunday stock talk 2 days ago, no one can predict the future, right? All we hope as traders, as investors, as scalpers, whatever your approach is, your hope is that you remain bullish, well, as long as you're going long, right? As long as you're not going short on something. But one of the things that we talked about is we are at a critical point for the overall market. And what do I mean by that? You can't predict the future, but you can prepare for the worst case scenario. I want to give you an example, and I hope that throughout this video, you get one step closer to your overall goal. And if you agree in at least preparing instead of predicting, then make sure you drop a thumbs up. And of course, share this video with someone that you think can benefit with what the message that is being shared. And what I want to share with you is very quickly on the technical side, the SMA line used to be a very common support level as the overall market or the NASDAQ market was remaining bullish, right? Meaning that it was indicating signs of an uptrend. Now, because we broke below it and now we're showing signs of an uptrend, old support levels can become new resistance levels. And that is something that a lot of people are aware of, right? As well as we are pulling on back to the EMA line, and a very popular stock as of right now, right? One that I've been paying attention to is I've been sharing this. I'm pretty heavily invested in Tesla. I have over 1,000 shares. And all I've been saying is I'm not trying to encourage people to buy Tesla when I know that it's at an overbought level, when I know that it is at a critical point, and I shared this during our Sunday stock talk. If anything, I would rather share with you so you can prepare for worst case scenario. And what I mean by this is the overall NASDAQ market and the overall, an example can be something like Tesla. It gapped up quite a bit, that based off of previous resistance levels, when it breaks below the EMA line, it has a tendency to continue to sell off. And if anything, for the past month to month and a half, the overall tech market has been more bearish than it has been bullish, meaning that it's been selling off more than it has been gaining. So for you to hope and for you to be so certain that the market has to recover right now, I think it's a little closed-minded in the idea that, if you have a small position size or an effective position size in whatever tech stock it is that you see value in, that makes sense, right? Because you're either investing for the long haul, or even if you're swing trading, your position isn't so aggressive that you don't have enough money left over in your trading account that you can buy at lower levels. And that's the whole point of this video. It's balancing out your position. Because it pushed up so much, all I've been ever trying to encourage people to do is watch for a break of pattern. I'm not trying to encourage people to buy Tesla just because I'm in it and because it would benefit me that Tesla can gain up. It is so close-minded to think that Tesla, after gapping up 20%, that it doesn't have the possibility of gapping right back down when it has a history for the past month and a half of making lower lows and lower highs. You're correct. No one can predict the future, and I do agree. Big picture, it would make sense that not only Tesla, but a lot of tech stocks can continue to recover everything that they've lost. That's not what I'm talking about. This is more for swing traders or proactive traders or people that don't want to be in the same position. And let me know in the comment section if you agree. How upset were you when the market was selling off and you bought the dip, but you bought the dip with your entire account size? So when it really sold off, you had no more buying power. That's what I'm trying to avoid. I don't want you to put yourself in the same position that you were in last time. This is so important because the only way that we can make progress in the stock market is if we learn from our mistakes. And it's not that you're going to be a perfect trader. There's no such thing as a perfect trader. But the goal is to get to as close to perfect as possible, and that is simply learning from your mistakes consistently over a long period of time. So because we now broke below the EMA line on the 4-hour time frame, would it surprise you that after gapping up 20%, right, from overall lows of 550, as it hit highs of over 700, nearly 30% is what it gapped up after it was super bearish for over a month? Would it surprise you that this thing pulls on back? Be honest with yourself. Remove yourself from your position. If you were not invested in the tech stocks that you were in right now, would you be as aggressively invested? That's the only thing that I want you to think about. It's It's not that your position right now is a bad investment or a bad trade to be in, but are you so heavily invested that if it pulls on back, you have no more buying power, or that you're going to be so devastated because of that pullback that you're going to be emotional and ineffective? That's what I want to avoid. If you're someone that has experience investing, if you're someone that has experience trading, and you're okay because you understand the big picture that the stock that you're invested in will recover over time, that mentality, you're at least approaching it with that mentality of, I know I can tolerate that. But I know for a lot of people, I know for a fact a lot of people cannot tolerate that kind of pullback. And that's all I'm trying to share within this video. I'm not ever here. No one can predict the future. That's very naive to think. But we can simply prepare for it. Prepare for worst case scenario. Who cares if it continues to gap up? You can always get back in. What I always try to prepare for is worst case scenario. So although I might have 1,000 shares, which is a lot of money, I agree, in Tesla, I have enough money in my trading account that I can buy an additional 1,000 shares. And the reason that I'm sharing that with you is because if you have $1,000 in your trading account, use it as an example. Instead of being in with a full $1,000 right now, why not balance out? If it's indicating signs of a downtrend, if it begins to make lower lows, maybe reduce your position size. You can reduce it by selling a couple of shares, 50%. So when it comes back down to these lower levels, you at least have enough money in your trading account to take advantage of those lower prices, right? We don't know exactly what's going to happen, but what we can do is prepare for it. And that's all I'm here to share. I'm just using Tesla as an example. And a little update for you guys, because of how much money I have invested in Tesla, for every 1% that it moves, it equates to about $10,000 on average. So it being down 4%, I'm down $40,000. Just like when it gapped up, 20%, I was up nearly $200,000. So I just wanted to update you guys on that. And one of the things that I also wanted to talk about is how many of you guys have followed up with our position on GoPro? Amazing, right? We talked about GoPro when it was trading at $8. I sold 200 of my shares today. I didn't have a heavy position size. So you guys can see my average purchase price, first of all, is not $766. It was $806, something like that. I had 400 shares. I sold 200 of my shares today. But think about this. This is a perfect example. Do your part in taking advantage of opportunities that make sense to you, and do it with a dollar amount that doesn't devastate you. You're just getting started. You're a beginner. Even if you've been trading for a couple of months, even a year, you have so much time to make money in the stock market. Stop trying to make it or break it right now. It's all about scaling and being effective. How do you expect to be effective when you're so heavily invested that you become an emotional mess? I went in with a dollar amount. Do the math, right? 400 shares at $8.06, a couple $1,000. That's an example of, my Tesla position is over $1 million, right? And I'm just saying this, the whole reason I'm sharing that with you is because I saw an opportunity when GoPro hit highs of, I think it was at $12.74, 77 cents, and then it sold off due to earnings, and then it began to consolidate. I made a video about it. This was one of my top 10 stocks, and the reason why is because I saw the potential, the upside potential. Although I saw that 180-day highs were right around $12.74, I anticipated to sell it at $11. But the reason I was able to tolerate this consolidation, and then I added more to my position size when it indicated signs of an uptrend, and the reason that I wasn't freaking out or so stressed out when it was indicating signs of an uptrend, I wasn't itching to sell, because I did it with a dollar amount that was had some money in it, that I was effective. And if things went south, I can manage my risk because it's not so much money that I become an emotional mess. And it allows me to be effective during that time. So when we reach these overbought levels, I can sell a couple of my shares, let the rest run, and if there's a break of pattern, if it breaks below the EMA line, then I'll sell the remaining shares. It's all about being well balanced, doing your part in taking advantage of opportunities that make sense to you and not listening to other people. Buying when it makes sense, managing risk when it makes sense, and locking in profits when it makes sense. If you're asking people, where should I buy? Where should I sell? Where should I cut losses? What should I trade? Or you're copying other people, a very cliche but very common saying is, if you give a man a fish, he can eat for a day. If you teach a man how to fish, he can eat for a lifetime. And although it's super cliche and it's kind of cringy, right? It's true. It's a very simple question to ask yourself. Are you someone that for the rest of your life wants to understand what to do or wants to be told what to do? And I'll leave you with that simple little message, right? So I do plan to lock in my profits right around this general area. I only have 200 shares left, and I'll most likely close it out, wait for a pullback, and if it ends up presenting itself, then guess what? I'll buy a couple more shares, and I'll try to repeat the same process in an effective way. So from where I bought at an average of 806 to where it's at right now, if I'm not mistaken, it's a little bit over 50%. If TOS works here, let's go ahead and see if it does. And the price it's at, yeah, 58%, which again, absolutely amazing. Not every trade is like that, of course, and some are of course greater than others. So just wanted to keep you guys up to date with how I plan to anticipate this NASDAQ market, this tech market, as we are approaching a resistance level, how I plan to balance out, prepare for the worst, and not try to predict the future. If it does pull on back, just know that I still have my position on Tesla and on the series of different tech stocks, but I did it in a way that I have enough money in my trading account that I can take advantage of the lower price levels if it were to pull back. And if it continues to indicate signs of an uptrend, then great, so be it. I'll just decide to get back in when we get that confirmation. So I hope that I earned your thumbs up in this video. Don't forget to stay connected. If you guys haven't joined our free Facebook group, that's that first link in the description with over 309,000 members. I trade live every single morning with the Learn Plan Profit group. If you want to join us and watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow, that's that second link in the description. And due to daylight savings, I'll see you at 6:30 in the morning at market open. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.